This morning, America is remembering the 9/11 attacks 13 years ago. In just a few minutes, we'll bring you a moment of silence, marking the moment the first plane struck the North Tower of the World Trade Center.
On the eve of today's anniversary, President Obama laid out his strategy for fighting ISIS in Iraq and Syria. We want to talk about the threat to the United States with two men who work every day to prevent another attack. Bill Bratton is Commissioner of the New York Police Department. John Miller is the Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence and Counterterrorism. Welcome back to Studio 57.
Good to be here. Good morning.
Happy to be here.
Commissioner Bratton, assess the threat and how safe we are.
We are safe. However, the threat is growing exponentially since the emergence of ISIS, as reflected in the President's speech last night. It's something we've been talking about for quite some time, and it is real, and it is growing.
And is ISIS different than al-Qaeda?
Very much so, that in the sense that al-Qaeda is always looking for the big event. Its history has always been the 9/11 style, the plane bombing, etc. ISIS would be much more into the inspiration of the lone wolf. ISIS would be much more into the solo actor. They're very sophisticated in their capabilities through their videos, through their social media, through their magazines. They're a very sophisticated operation seeking to recruit, more so even than al-Qaeda was over the years.
Last night, John, the president said that we will degrade and destroy ISIS, and he talked about an airstrike. I think for most Americans, they had never heard of this group until they saw the beheading, the brutal beheading of Mr. Foley. Do you think an airstrike can take this group out?
Well, not a single airstrike. What you have is, as the commissioner said, a very sophisticated group made up of former Iraqi generals, strategists, intelligence officials from the Saddam Hussein era. So these are people who have military training, military experience, but more important, organizational experience.
When Deputy Director Mike Morrell was here last month, he said he would not be surprised if an ISIS militant walked into a mall and opened up fire. Do you see them as an imminent threat to us in the United States?
It's already happened. If you go back through the attack in Belgium at the Jewish Museum, you see a foreign fighter who was on the ground fighting for ISIS in Syria, who returned home and on the way decided to carry out an attack. And when he was captured at the airport and they recovered the weapon, it was wrapped in an ISIS flag at that checkpoint. So you have to look at that case. The man who was arrested coming back from Syria, who when they raided his home in Toulouse, France, had the explosive. You have to look at some of these other cases where they have already returned, either carrying out plans and executing plans. Haven't seen it here, but that's a concern.
Commissioner, you said the threat is growing, so what specific steps are you taking here in New York and other commissioners that you may know of in terms of protecting a city? What are you doing differently?
Not differently, probably just expanding upon the already formidable expertise that the NYPD had developed since 9/11. Our predecessor, Commissioner Kelly, had really built a world-class counterterrorism operation here. We have sought to strengthen and expand our relationships with our federal colleagues over these last 8 months that we've been here. We're also expanding our conversations with our foreign colleagues. That was on the phone earlier this week with the head of the Metropolitan Police in London. We're hoping he'll be coming here shortly for a joint terrorism conference here. So this is an international concern.
So you know who these people are who have American passports, and you have some sense of identity if they try to come back.
It's been publicly reported that there are in excess of about 100 Americans, at least 100 Americans. The Brits anticipate that they've got several hundred over there. The Australians have hundreds also. So the overall scope is known, and the work now is to identify who they are so you can watch for them as they attempt to come back.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you.